So with the negotiations still continuing behind the scenes on the reconciliation bill, Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden tried a last-minute maneuver to flex their power to get the left to fall in line and de-link the reconciliation bill from the traditional infrastructure bill. And guess what? Bernie refused and said, "We've been clear every step of the way. We're not bluffing." Take a look.
Throughout this process, Senator Bernie Sanders, a campaign rival from 2020, but a longtime colleague in the Senate, has been a friend and ally. Senator Sanders has made a ton of compromises along the way here as they negotiated this plan. But what the White House wanted most of all is for Sanders to go to the progressives in the House today and say, eat your peas. The president needs you to vote on this infrastructure bill. Then, might take a couple weeks, but then we will work out the other details. Listen to Bernie Sanders moments ago. I want your view on the significance of this when Bernie Sanders says, maybe not.
Members of the House, in my view, are going to have an insurance. What we have said is, all of you know, from day one, that both of these bills are linked. I support the infrastructure bill, but I want to see a strong Build Back Better bill as well, and they're linked together. So what you don't want to see is the infrastructure bill passed and then not have the kind of Build Back Better bill that we need. And that's why you need 50 members on board before there should be a vote, in my view, in the House.
David Chalian, the president wanted his friend Bernie Sanders to say, back the president. Bernie Sanders is saying, be skeptical, not until mentioned and send him a sign.
Yeah, I mean, those critical words there at the end of what Sanders just said, before, there should not be a vote before there is a bill.
So credit where it's due. Bernie is holding the line. The left in the House is holding the line. But I will say this. They're only holding the line insofar as you keep the bills linked together. That's it. They're not holding the line in any other serious sense. And what I mean by that is the Congressional Progressive Caucus released a statement saying they endorsed the framework of the negotiated bill. Namely, $1.75 trillion? Sure. But it's got to go hand in hand with the traditional infrastructure bill, because they know that if just the traditional infrastructure bill gets a vote, which is what Pelosi and Biden wanted, if that gets a vote now, and it's not tied with the reconciliation bill, the traditional infrastructure bill would pass, but the reconciliation bill would be dead in the water, and they wouldn't even vote for that when it does come up. So the leverage that you have is putting the two together, because a lot of the corporatists want the traditional infrastructure bill. So, okay, well, then you have to force them to vote for the reconciliation bill to get the traditional infrastructure bill. So they're holding the line in terms of keeping the bills together. What they're not holding the line on is any reasonable standards for the reconciliation bill. So again, I reiterate, as I have in every segment so far today, here is what was cut out of the bill. Paid family leave was cut out of the bill. Lower drug prices was cut out of the bill. Expanded Medicare coverage of dental and vision was cut out of the bill. Hearing made it in, dental and vision was out. Free community college cut out of the bill. Raising corporate taxes out of the bill. The billionaire tax increase out of the bill. So those are the things that were left out. The only stuff that's left, we have $555 billion for the climate. Universal pre-K is in for 6 years. Expanded child tax credit is in for 1 year. Child care is in there. ACA expansion, so some more health care is in there, $165 billion worth. Housing, $150 billion is in there. Home care is in there. Elder care, $150 billion. And some immigration stuff is in there. That's it. So the left wanted $10 trillion. Biden wanted $6 trillion. They negotiated a bill of $3.5 trillion. Now it's dropped under $2 trillion. So I told you from the beginning, my red line is $2 trillion. I want $2 trillion or more. That's the absolute floor. And no means testing, or I vote no, and no climate, no deal, or I vote no. So it fails the first test, which is it's under $2 trillion. So I would vote no with a smile on my face. The only way that they could get my vote is now you got to horse trade executive orders. You want me to vote for this shitty, watered-down, shredded piece of trash? Fine. Here are my demands. Biden needs to use the executive order pen, legalize marijuana, free every nonviolent drug offender, abolish all $1.73 trillion of student loan debt, pardon Assange. List goes on and on. You can demand anything that Biden can do and is in his purview, you should demand it. And guess what? If you demand 8 or 10 things from him, maybe he gives you 3 or 4. But you'll get something. So the left is holding the line on keeping the bills linked. They're not holding the line on ultimately voting for a $1.75 trillion package. I would not vote for a $1.75 trillion package unless there are executive orders as well. So will any of them stand up and demand that? I think you know the answer, but we need to get them to try. You have to do it. By the way, the segment that I did on that, my message to the squad, I want all of you guys to tweet that at AOC, Ro Khanna, Ilhan Omar, Pramila Jayapal, Mark Pocan, and any remotely left Congress people who are in there. Tweet that segment at them. I need them to feel pressure on this front because it's our only hope. It's now or never. It's our only hope for getting some good policies implemented before Democrats likely get wiped out. So Bernie held the line, rebuffed Biden to his face, rejected Biden to his face, but he only held the line on keeping the bills together. We'll see what happens after that. By the way, Bernie himself, apparently his big red line was the Medicare expansion. So now you're telling me hearing and vision is out? Or excuse me, dental and vision is out, but hearing is the only Medicare expansion thing that's in? So what? Dental is not part, or teeth are not part of your body? Eyes are not part of your body? Only ears are part of your body? So Bernie might even be a no vote unless that gets back in there. So we'll see. But I don't just want them to hold the line on keeping the bills together. I want them to hold the line on at least give us bare minimum wins here. And again, this wouldn't just be good from a policy perspective. It would be good from a politics perspective as well. We're trying to save Biden and the corporate Democrats from themselves, effectively. So there you have it. Don't take the crumbs. You gotta get more. Don't roll over like they did every other time in the past. Stand up and fight. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.